You're about to get your mind blown.
So here's what happened, dude. So we're at the depot, and I'm picking up stuff. You're picking up stuff, and I can't see the trash cans the way you can see. We're playing a game called Void Train, for anybody who's listening. And all of a sudden, Tango starts going, "Sure burger nerd."
Welcome back to the show. There's no telling where we'll go. So come and share a laugh on the Imp And Skizz podcast.
So we're back for part 2. Back with Tango. You look cozy. You look warm.
I had to do a wardrobe change.
Looking good.
Yeah, he's professional.
This guy keeps the temperature at like 62
I know.
degrees in here. Like, I'm cold.
Yeah. When you said it, I felt good because I thought I was the only one feeling
chilly.
cold.
It's chilly,
but
yeah.
the penguin over here.
No, it's not about me. I didn't want the camera to overheat.
Right.
Yeah, that's my story. So we had so much fun with the conversation in the last hour or last week at this point for the listeners, but
we could talk for hours, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we kind of did. We took a little break and then talked for an hour.
I know.
We did a whole podcast worth off camera.
Off-camera podcast. The After Dark podcast, we'll call that one, but it wasn't recorded, sorry.
Yeah, too bad.
But
actually, what you're going for is thank God it wasn't recorded.
Yeah. Yes. No, but I did live stream it. That's cool. Right?
No, you stop it.
No.
One of these days that's going to happen. All right, well, let's kick this off. Just with let's just grab a question because we still have a handful of questions left. Yeah. This is we're gonna do this. This is from DB Love. It says Tango. It says Tango. What was your first impression of Skizz? And you can be as brutal as you want, dude. I get to edit these, so I'll edit out my tears.
I wish I could be brutal. I wish I could be brutal.
Say all the nasty things.
Right.
He can handle it.
Yeah, I got thick skin.
No, I mean, it'd be very easy for me right now to turn this into a praise Skizz thing, and I'm going to do it.
Hold on. You wrote that.
No, I didn't.
This question coming in from the Skazzle man.
This comes from Skazzle man. DB Love.
So yeah, I mean, there's the first time we ever met, which was I think we went to that bar one night, and I'll be honest, and we said this before, I don't remember much about that night.
Right.
It was
you were so drunk. No.
Right. No. And I'll be honest, because that night I wanted to hang out with you because we were the ones that were really close, and you brought your buddy.
Yeah.
You know, you brought your emotional support. So I didn't really know him that well at that point. Not that I had a problem with that night or anything. But it was really, Minecon, right? You guys did a whole podcast on this. It was Minecon 20 was when I don't remember the year.
2016, right?
Was it? All the years blur together.
Yeah.
That was when I really got to know Skizz, where we drove in your car. Was it you that drove? Or was
he drove.
And we had the car trouble on the way
home. Remember it overheated on the way home?
Oh, or in the middle of the desert, and you're just like, we're gonna die. That was terrifying.
I remember I was hating it because we were coming home from Minecon, and that night, the night before, I didn't want it to end. So I thought I was in that mood where it's like, if I don't go to bed, this doesn't end.
Yeah.
And I think I finally gave in at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, it's like, Impulse, get up. Scal's leaving. You need to say goodbye. And I'm like, I just went to sleep. And then the car breaks down on the way home. And I'm just like, I'm just going to lay on the ground.
We were in the middle of
nowhere.
I mean, for those who don't know, the drive from California, there's one road pretty much. Well, you can go 2 roads, but most people take Route 10 or whatever it is, right? And
it's like a 6-hour drive.
We're in the middle of nowhere, desert town, USA. Gosh, the car's not acting right. What's wrong?
Yep.
Yeah, that
was pulled over.
We just waited
in the dirt.
Yeah,
and it fixed itself. But that was terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
honestly in the
crazy.
End. That was kind of memory.
Another memory.
It was a bonding moment.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, we had a 6-hour drive there, and so all 3 of us in the car, and give you a chance to get to know him a little bit better. And then when you live in a house with somebody, even if it's just for a weekend, you really get to know him.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's when I agree. That was when we became buds. Was in that trip. We really hit it off and had a lot of good moments. And it's funny because there was a moment. This will probably be the first time you've heard this. There was a moment coming back where you were sitting in the back, I believe. Yeah, you were sitting in the back. You were a passenger, and I was driving. And I just, you guys were doing well, and I wanted to kind of get my channel going or whatever. And I wanted to get your guys' advice or whatever. But the vibe essentially was, guys, I'd like your help. I'd like your help on this. Like, want to hear what you have to say or whatever.
You saying this to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's interesting is, so you were in the back, and I said, okay, guys, here it is. I said, I need your help with something. And you shifted your whole body forward and you leaned in between us. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, we're friends now. Because like what just happened was, we had such a good weekend that as soon as he heard me say, I need help, he was like, I'm all in, whatever this is. And it was like this moment where I was just like, whoa. And that's when we talked. That's like, that's how the story times were born, was from that moment. You know what I mean? And because you had said, you're like, well, you know, you're really like, your storytelling's real, and you know, you're good at it. You got it. Why are you not squeezing this?
Yeah, it's coming back to me because you had just watched somebody on YouTube who did like an awesome storytelling session.
Yeah, Olin Rogers.
And you had just watched this video and you're like, that was amazing. And your first thought was, Skizz could do that. Like that's totally up Skizz's alley. And you gave him the advice, hey dude, you should do these. You should do these story time with Skizz's. And you know, coming off of that weekend, you know, Skizz had really taken in the YouTuber life, right? All these YouTubers around him, and
you say that was the worst, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I would pose to you. There's got to be some time, like, you're around all these people who are living the dream, and the whole week you're probably just thinking, or whole weekend or whatever it was, you're just thinking, you know, it's got to be tough.
Yeah.
And you're such a nice guy. You're not complaining about it or anything.
No.
But I know that it's going through your head, you know, and it
that
still does.
It does. And it was so funny because it was like, maybe I talked about this the last podcast too. And I said, dude, Minecon messed me up. It was like a week later, maybe the end of Minecon.
Going back to
I'm
work.
like, it messed me up. And you're all, that feeling you have, it's never going away.
oh, man.
It was like, all of a sudden, all the things I cared so much about at work, I just couldn't possibly care less about. I just want to do this.
No, but I mean, after that week, even by the time we were driving home, we spent time together, and it was, you know, you guys covered it last podcast, so I won't reiterate, but the things you did for me, even personally, and you didn't know who I was. Yeah. And you made the sacrifices, and I was like, okay, this guy is genuine, you know, and the more I talked to you, I was like, I would, you know, I know he would do anything for us, and now I will do anything for him. You know, like, I don't hang out with you a lot, Skizz, right? This is the first time, you know, we should hang out more.
We should hang out. We live a couple miles apart. Maybe we should see each other more than once a year.
But it's just, you know, both of you guys, I have a ton of respect for you guys, and it's like, you know, I consider you guys some of my best friends. You know, I don't have a lot of friends anymore because I'm in front of the computer.
So busy, and
so, you know, but yeah, that week was great. So
it really was. I enjoyed it so much, man. Like every bit about it. And we, like you said, let's not revisit it because we did a whole podcast on it. But I got to see certain sides of people that I didn't think I'd ever see, right? And you were one of them, because it was really nice to see you relax on a very different level. You know, meaning because you're so focused on perfection. You're so zeroed in on that to just be able to have a couple beers with you and just hear you just
and
laugh
talk about work and YouTube and no, it was great.
Yeah. And just learn who you were and stuff. And I think, and now, like, you know, we should talk a little bit about like the JIT stream, for example. Think about how much we've all collabed together, right? Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know, the JIT stream it's actually four of us, and Joker's the other one. Mr. Joker's the other one. And the four of us meet about once a week, and we do a collab if we can. If we can,
four people, it's always tough to.
It's very hard.
Difficulties, definitely.
Yep, and your guys' patience with me has been unwavering because my work is going to be wacky and my job is wacky. Yeah, and we do it. It's a lot of fun, right? But it's not about the game, and so I wonder, you know, what's in the future for us? Like not you and me. I'm just in general, like from a collab, because every time I stream with you personally, I just have the best time. Yep. I just do. Yep. It's just always fun. All three of us.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I want, so when Phasmo's done, what's the next one? And let's just keep looking. And we have all different kinds of games that we've done in the past, and some we swing and it misses. You know, some of the games
but that's part of the fun.
It is.
Honestly, is knowing that we're rolling the dice.
Yeah. And you never know when you're going to find a diamond in the rough, you know, something that nobody's seen before. And like we discovered something that brings, you know, Phasmo. I didn't think when we started Phasmo that it was going to bring out so much personality in us.
Yes.
Right? I just thought, oh, this
50 times. Yeah.
I thought the draw of the game would be us getting scared, you know, and
it
you
was
know,
at the beginning.
At the beginning, sure. And then eventually you kind of like, okay, I've seen this 100 times. I'm not going to pretend to be scared anymore. But it wasn't about that. It was about the throwing the trash on the ground and Mr. Joker saying, look at all those trash. And, you know what I mean? It's like all these little fun moments and us messing with each other and doing voices and the thing. And yeah, I mean, it allowed us to just hang out and let our personalities be the content, not the game.
The dynamic is we have is we can play a co-op game and we're working together and we're great, right?
Yeah.
We can play a slightly more competitive game and we get a little bit more jibby with each other, a little bit more, you know, a little bit more snarky and everything. And
competitiveness comes out.
But in the end, it works, and we're all good enough friends where you know we roll it off.
Let me see. Let me think for a second. Is this a good idea? I'm gonna do it.
Of course it is.
Oh, this you might not think so. I trolled you so hard in yesterday's stream of Void Train.
He doesn't know.
No,
he never.
I trolled you so hard, dude. Unless you were trolling me and pretending to be trolled. So
I was watching. Okay, so
let me tell the story.
I'm not going to tell the story, but let me tell you what my perspective was of this.
This is so good.
So my Friday afternoons, I love it when you stream, and I got the honor of seeing both of you together yesterday while I was setting all those cameras up and stuff. But I did have Skizz on the TV, not you. So I got to see his side of the story, and I'll let him tell the story, but you're about to get your mind blown.
So here's what happened, dude. So we're at the depot, and I'm picking up stuff. You're picking up stuff, and I can't see the trash cans the way you can see. We're playing a game called Void Train, if for anybody's listening, and all of a sudden, Tango starts going, "Sure burger nerd."
Got it. Okay, he's got to finish telling the story, but this is so good.
I already know.
So he's going, Gershberg, and I'm like listening. I'm really excited that my streaming partner is currently having a stroke right now. And you're all, you come read this. So I come and it's like above this door and it says Gershberg, and I was all, danger radioactivity. And you're all, you
jerk, you 100% had me. I had no idea. I was like,
I know. I'm all, dude, your game is set to German, dude.
Well, and I believed it because at the beginning screen, there was a little bit of a language selector. And I'm sitting here going, I didn't press that button. How am I in German mode or something?
Meanwhile, the rest of the game are played, and your screen says, you know, crate or tools or what, like everything's English. It was like, I was gonna like.
I'm so dumb. I never figured it out. In the background, like, why is everything else in English though?
Dude, my chat was just like blowing up.
Tell me, they probably did.
They probably did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say somebody must have told you in your chat that he's trolling you, and you just missed it, which just makes it that much better.
Well,
yeah, I was watching, dude, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tango has no clue.
I am so gullible.
That's awesome.
And I was pondering when would be the right time to tell him.
Never.
I was going to drag it out the whole series, but I realized right now, I'm like, I'm going to tell him right now. That'll be funny.
Let's wait until we have at least a couple thousand people to hear how you got trolled. There you go.
You're going to play that up next week and be like, hey, boy, and you're like, this is weird. It just says do not pass or something. And I'm like,
I'm like doubly upset with myself because you're right. I was not only going to do that, I was going to start making whatever, making it up to a point to where it got more and more personal to us. And I'd be like, dude, the developers are watching us. They know we're playing this game. This one actually says Tango on it. You're like, stuff like
I would not have bought that.
He's pretty good at selling stuff. Maybe you would have, but yeah, dude, that was really good. I was watching and I was like, wow, he pulled that off with a straight face. And he did have to keep muting himself to laugh.
You were giggling.
Yeah. So there was that.
I got you one time and you happened to be watching. I don't remember what it was entirely, but I was pretending like I couldn't hear you or something. I don't remember, but I was really, really playing it off like I just can't. And you got to a point you're like, he can't hear me. I don't know why he can't hear me. And it went on for like several minutes and it got to a point, I don't remember, but you said something and then I answered it. You're all, wait, I'm like, yeah, I could hear you the whole time. And you were like, dude, you were so mad. And I saw Tango in my chat's all biggest troll ever. It was great.
I love when we mess with each other like that. Like Tango was streaming one day and he got a call from his wife.
Oh
Mrs.
my
T,
gosh, this is bad.
and he answered it on stream, and it was you were just kind of like no, I'm streaming, but yeah, whatever, right now, kind of busy, and then you hang up the phone, and Brody who's just had the brilliant idea to also call right afterwards. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, here we go. Like, buckle up, And I waited. Like, I was watching your stream and there's a delay. And so I had your number, like, dialed except for I just had to hit send, and just hit call. And the second I started to hear you on stream wrapping it up with Brody, I hit call. And it was immediately like the second you put the phone down, it rang again. And you just lost it. Like, the timing was so good. I mean, those moments like that, I mean, you can't script that, right? That's what we're talking about before. Like, this kind of stuff just happens, and we play off of each other so well.
And then I didn't see any of that unfold. I just started to stream, and my chat's like, you got to call Tango right now, but it has to happen right now, right? I'm like, what?
Like a phone call. I haven't called him ever.
I was like, well, I was kind of worried because I mean, I do have you on my phone, but I was kind of worried, like. It sounds so urgent, like there's something I got to know about. I was ready to end my stream and everything. And
this is weird.
Yeah, and then I called and we had our moment, but it was like 5 minutes after the fact. Like, oh, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, you were late. Evil called right after me. Evil Notion got in on it, so there was like 4 calls.
Oh, Evil too.
And then there was a little bit of a gap, and then you called, and it was like
Yeah, too much of a gap.
That was really good. I hope somebody clipped that. I mean, it's probably one of your best clips if you looked it up. But fun times.
Gotta make it a short.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got to make sure. Got to get those shorts going.
That's the thing about, and that's interesting about humor is that humor's on a clock. It just is like witty moments, right? Everything. They made a joke of that in the movie Shallow Hal, right? Like they made a joke about his size and down south, and he was like, what was that? And he's like, I heard what you said, but that was like 10 seconds. Remember that? He's like, that's why they call them quips, not slopes. Because it's like, and that's what's so funny is that Seinfeld did a whole bit on this where George got razzed in a meeting and he was upset about it. And on his drive home, he's like, oh, that's what I should have said. So the whole episode is him trying to recreate the situation so we can have that come back.
That happens to me all the time. The I should have said that comes up way too late.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like Limited Life and the Life series. I'm like, afterwards, I'm doing the editing. I'm like, why did I say that? That would have been funny.
And that's what you want. Let me tell you, I'm going to give you one of my regrets on the last Limited Life episode. Because this is obviously it's been out. So I get the fight with B-Dubs and I kill B-Dubs, which for the record, I'm still, he denied. I think he threw that fight and he denies it to me, but he would do that. I think he did, but I think he just wanted us to be square. You know what I mean? Which is it's classic B-Dubs.
I mean, let's face it, he's bad.
Yeah,
but not that bad.
I know. That first crit I got in him was good. Anyways, I got him. And then my instinct was like, go nuts, go scorched earth and just start slinging people because I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And something like distracted me or whatever. But you can hear in my voice, I was just about to just start slaying people. And my brain was like, if you can just slay one person, it's all worth it. Because even if you get killed, well, who cares? You just got this time back. Right. And I didn't do it. Right. I didn't do it. And so it was like one of those things where it was like, if it doesn't, now it's too late. You know what I mean? Like it had to happen like that. Yeah.
The moment is past. Yep.
So typically, when I have those moments of, oh, I should have done this, or I should have said this, or whatever, I drop them instantly. I'm like, I don't have a time machine. If I have a time machine, then I'll feel bad about this, but I don't have one. And the moment's over. Yep. This one's sticking with me.
Still sticking in your second.
Yes, it's still. And when I was editing, I'm like, dang it, you know what I mean? This could be so much better than it is. But that's the nature of the beast, man. And so let's dive into streaming a little bit. Okay. I want to get into Tango's brain here. So obviously I like streaming. I think all of us very much like streaming.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of it. I hate that I miss so much chat. It happens for 2 reasons. One is because I'm focused on whatever the game is. And the other one is because I'm not just focused. There's times I forget chats there for a few seconds. And it's getting to the point now to where it's always scrolling. I miss this, I miss that, I miss this. I miss a lot of things. And you guys you're dealing with a lot more than I am. What is it when we all have times, I think, when you're about to stream and you maybe don't want to, right? Like maybe something happened that day. I've only had to cancel one stream because
it's rare, but yeah,
it's rare, right? And there's been time, we're human, right? And we all have these moments. And I've only had one stream where, not that I've only canceled one stream, but I've only had one stream where I was like, nope, I'm actually not good enough for this. And it was when I had to put my cat down that day, right?
Yeah,
and
you can't.
I was like, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? And that was when I bowed out of. But for the most part, I'm able to just be, not that I'm putting on this fake face or whatever, but I'm able to just suck it up and change hats and go into that mood. Is that how you feel?
That's the job, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Even if I start the stream a little bit low energy or something like that, once I start streaming, it brings it out, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's streams where I'll look back at the VOD and I was like, oh wow, I had so much energy, and I just felt way more like I would watch this stream.
Yeah.
And there's other streams I watch back, I'm like, what are you doing? Just end the stream. You're tired. It's obvious. You're mumbling. So yeah, it's all about energy. You know, there's times where you really got it and you're super hyper with the chat and you're good and and funny things are happening and you're interacting with other people and it's like, that's great content. It's good. And there's other times where you're just dragging out a simple project or something for 2 hours and the conversation's not there. And, that's why honestly, like I don't set a time on my streams. I don't decide I'm going to stream for this long. I stream until I feel it's not entertaining,
That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
It is good.
It usually ends up being about 3 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go 4 if I'm having a lot of fun.
See,
sometimes I'll go 2 if it's like, I'm not feeling it anymore and I'm kind of done and it's not, I wouldn't watch anymore. So let's stop.
Dude, Impulse and I had a stream on Tuesday. This was a nightmare because we get together both of us have limited time and like honestly this podcast is really the only time we even see each other. I live 1,000 feet away.
You could throw a rock and hit your house.
Exactly, right? Yeah, it's like the only time we actually see each other is when we do this podcast. We went to lunch last week or whatever, and now I owe you a lunch, by the way.
So this kind of stuff bothers him. That I paid for lunch and he owes me in the back of his mind. And it's just going to play on his mind until we get it. Well, let's get lunch next weekend when you can square up.
I'm in.
You don't even have to kill me.
Yeah. Anyways, so we record our Naked and Scared series, which is in more Minecraft stuff. I have to say that. And I was having the craziest technical problems. Like I changed nothing, but for some reason my OBS was like, you know what? I'm just not going to show Minecraft. I'm
just going to be a jerk today.
Yeah. Yep. And it wasn't like I had this problem and then we started streaming. We started streaming and then I had this problem.
Well, because you record the series live.
That we recorded live, exactly.
Gutsy.
Yeah.
It is gutsy. Whatever happens, happens, Like, and we have to deal with the consequences.
But I'll be honest with you, I like that it's proof. Like there's nobody in the back of their mind going, did they fudge that?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing. That's a big thing on YouTube right now. We'll get back to you, but on YouTube right now, there's a lot of like YouTubers that are doing these like hardcore series or whatever, and it's like, I did all this in one day, and it's like, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Because they're doing it all off camera and cheating or whatever. And then there was so Philza came up by streaming every single minute of his hardcore series on Twitch, and there was no fudging. There was whatever happens. And he went on for years. And Skizz, you probably don't know how he died, but you're gonna like hearing.
Enderman.
Nope.
Stupid little kid.
Stupid little kid.
Really?
Little zombie ended Phil's hardcore series after like 5 years or something crazy.
Wow! No way.
And it was like the most viewed clip ever.
They're the most difficult mob in the game.
Yeah.
In terms of surprising you, catching you off guard.
The stupid little kids?
Yeah, especially when there's tall grass and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but we do it. And Skizz and I have had talks about this too, because like I feel like I get really bad streamer brain when I'm streaming. I'm just like, I'm sensory overload, right? When we're streaming, there's we got to worry about what the viewers are seeing and reading chat, and if they're donating and stuff, we want to make sure we acknowledge them, and all sorts of things are happening all around us, and like brain just can't take it. It gets it gets overloaded, and then I have what I call streamer brain, and so I'm like, okay, so we're gonna record this hardcore series where it's like every move is important. So now I have recording brain and streamer brain under this pressure cooker.
Right way. You turn off you basically stop being streamers while you're recording, and that's smart.
Yeah, that's what we
And then
we learned.
You finish, and then you talk, and that's cool. Like
yeah, we have our quiet on set.
Yeah.
Quiet on set.
But yeah, sorry, cut you off. Go ahead.
No, not at all. No, but so I was having that issue would not show the game, and it was one of those things where now there's times where I'll have a technical issue, and at the end of the day, once it's resolved, I'm like, oh, the problem is I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? Like I just made a mistake. But then I also have other technical issues when I'm like, yeah, this makes no sense. None of this is making sense. And it just wouldn't grab the source. It didn't matter. I was like, I'm gonna end my stream, bring it back up. Nothing. Oh, let me kill the source, re-add the source. Nothing's working. I think I rebooted at one point. Yeah. And it's still wasn't working. I deleted the source again, re-added it again for like the 9th time, and now it's working. Meanwhile, like an hour of our stream time.
We were live for an hour during this.
Yes. And you I was
live.
You were
live.
Had
to kill his stream.
You did great, dude. You did great. I was like, dude, he's just carrying the torch right now, and this is awesome. And I just got to figure this out. And I was really frustrated, but then it started playing on my mind, like, how long until I'm like, sorry, I guess I'm not going to be. This is not going to happen.
You gotta call it at some point.
Yeah. It was the worst. It was the worst. And then, and that's the other thing is that these things happen, right? They happen. You have to find a way to manage them in your mind, in your heart. You're like, they're not just happening to us. They're happening with a lot of people watching. How are you going to react to this? Yeah. And what was the thing I joined you on? What was it? It's obviously wasn't MCC, but it was a type of competitive Minecraft game where it was like a big deal.
Twitch Rivals.
Twitch Rivals, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez, I was just spacing it. It was Twitch Rivals, right? It was an honor to be invited to that. That was neat. So what a day for my internet to be like, I'm not into this. And I was, dude, I was like, this is like a really big day, and my stream is awful.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and with Twitch Rivals, like you have to stream because it's a competition, and like literally money's on the line, right? So they say you have to stream so that we can look at your stream and make sure you're not cheating, right? And he couldn't. Your packets were dropping. You couldn't stream
like mad.
That was
It was the whole time too. It was the whole time.
But I mean, like you were on camera in front of people, and you're keeping a good attitude when most people would just put their fist through their computer screen, and like their monitor and.
So, like, these chances don't come by.
It's hard to keep your cool like that. Like,
it's hard. I've
lost my temper sometimes.
I've failed. I have failed. Just a couple weeks ago, I was having a really bad day. I'd recorded a bunch of stuff I was super proud of, only to find out my footage was corrupted or whatever. And and it was time to stream, and it was on the schedule, and we had to do it. It felt like I had to do it. This is what we do every week. And started streaming. I just was not myself. The entire stream. And it's obvious. And then like every little thing that happened in stream was just like poking me to the point where I boiled over. I killed his pet.
He slayed my horse.
I killed his horse out because
I had Blue Stick the whole season, and he was I was like,
I took it out on his horse apparently, and it didn't sit well with a lot of people, including myself and him, obviously, but. At the end of it, I was like, wow, like that's maybe one of those days where I should have just said, dude, I'm not going to be able to hold it together. Like I've just had a really bad day. I'm in a very bad headspace. And I tried, I tried to be professional, tried to suck it up, tried to put on a good face, but got worn down.
Yeah. It's human, man. It happens.
Well, your emotional state is such a big part of the quality of the stream, the video, whatever, right? If, you could ask someone, if you're, whatever your job is, you can still go in if you're in a bad mood and get your job done. But we can't do our job if we're in a bad mood.
Yeah,
you could.
You're just going to do it poorly.
It's garbage. It's not. So it's the right move to cancel it.
Yeah,
if it's not meant to be.
When you step back and you think of like why are people watching us? Right? Why do they tune in at all? It's because I know that there's a question for you. But a lot of the times what I get in response to that question when I state it to the viewers is they want to escape whatever is their bad day or whatever's going on. They want an escape. They want to tune in and be able to see somebody having fun and having energy and kind of you get that vibe right off of somebody. So if you tune in and somebody's
downers
and they're downer, I mean, like you're just gonna keep dragging everybody down, and then thousands of people. I don't want to drag thousands of people down because I'm in a bad mood. So it's probably better to just call it. But it is tough. You mentioned schedule, like. I just my personality. I love schedules. You know that.
You're way more strict about it. And that's good. I respect that. I wish I could be. Yeah.
But at the same time, setting that schedule then makes me feel like, oh, I have to start at this time and end at this time because people expect that.
Yep.
Now I've laid out that expectation. It's good and bad. Yeah. You know, I think, you know, if you think about a network TV show that you watch, like every Monday night at 7, my favorite show comes on.
If it was on randomly, you'd be
it'd be tough to catch it. So I kind of prided myself on being able to set a schedule and stick to it. But the downside is obligation and having to show. And then when you don't show up because something happened or you got a family thing or whatever, people are disappointed. And I hate disappointing people, you know? Tough. So it's tough balance, but I kind of like the way you're doing it. You know, like you kind of have a schedule that people understand, but they also know it's kind of loose.
Expectation.
Yeah. You don't have a ton of expectation. Like if you're not there Monday afternoon, which now you're not because of the limited life recordings, but you don't probably get a lot of like, where are you, Tango? What the heck? It's Monday afternoon. You're supposed to be here. You know.
So people are accepting of it.
That's good. You kind of have a little bit of a loose schedule too, right? That you try to stick to on Twitch.
Yeah, to the best of my abilities. Like I said, work will come in every once in a while, and if sometimes a meeting will be put on my calendar right when I'm supposed to be streaming, and if they do it that day, I will assess it. Sometimes they just want to chat about something. And I'm like, no, you can plan better than that. We'll talk tomorrow. Or other times it's
you can do better. Than
it's
try again and come back to
other
me.
times. Other times something will happen that's real, and I'm like, oh, this is where we're at. I got to push the stream back or whatever, and I just have to be okay with it, you know. But my schedule is I do try to have as much of a set schedule as I possibly can, and this started with this whole thing. This is where my beard came from. I didn't used to have a beard.
That.
Yeah, no shave stream streak, right? I was like, I'm going to stream for 30 days straight, Monday through Friday. I am not going to miss it, and I'm not going to shave the whole time. And I was just going to let it get, because this happens fast on me, right? I don't know if you know this story. I made that decision. I tweeted it out, and Twitterverse was happy, and I was happy. Let's do this. And I get that day, I get a text from my buddy. He's like, hey, so I signed us up to coach, girls softball. I'm all, what?
Why do you hate me?
Yeah. And I'm like, why did you do that? You know, like my name's on there. He's like, yeah, you're going to coach with me. Yeah. And he's like, well, we talked about this. I'm like, we did talk about this a while ago over some beers that maybe one day we'd want to do that. And he's like, well, anyways, practice is on Monday. And I was like, dude, what the heck? So then I was, I'm going to have to figure it out. And I had days, I got it all done. I was able to coach and it was amazing. And even he gave me static. He's like, what are you?
I was so mad.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you signing up for this? I'm like,
you just
for what? For which part?
For taking on too much. Like you shouted to the universe, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, and then you also add this on. What are you thinking, man? And then you're like, I can do it. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, and I did. I made every practice.
Like streaming at like 9 o'clock at night to make sure he's stuck with the schedule.
It was like I just had to get it done. I think I had to stream for a minimum of 2.5 hours. So I was usually doing 3, whatever it was. I don't remember those specifics, but I remember like having a jet out of practice or maybe getting there like right on time and stuff like that. And I have obviously no regrets. And I didn't tell him, my buddy, the other coach, until we were done with the season because I didn't want him to feel bad.
Right.
And when I told him, he's
by
like,
the way, that was the most inconvenient thing ever.
Yeah. Well, because we're really close, you know. And he was just like, "Oh, I didn't know. You didn't have to." I'm like, "No, dude, I wasn't going to let you down. I said I would do this, you know." But whatever. And I enjoy it. But you're right. You feel that obligation. You feel like when you set that schedule, you can't deviate from it. And when you do, you also end up learning that wasn't the end of the world that I deviated. You love your schedules, but you've had to curve them around my ridiculous schedule, and you've always been cool about it. And I don't know. I hope we're all streaming together in 10 years. You know what I mean? I just do.
Yep.
I just do. I just have a lot of fun doing it. You, dude, just yesterday, you and I streamed together, and you streamed right before that.
Yeah, it was 6 to 6.5 hours of streaming that day.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, oh, Tango's streaming early today. What's happening?
Well, for me, because it's so tied to YouTube, and when I put a video out, it makes me in a good mood. I feel happy. I feel accomplished. I'm glad I got it out. And then that next day after the video, I always feel like I really want to stream because I've got new things to kind of show off, to play with or something. So, on Hermitcraft, we can do great things. But even just, I also feel like I'm not overwhelmed with stress to try and get a video out that now I can you know what, let's go have some fun and play a different game and stuff. And it's, so I'm my desire to stream is very much out of tune, I guess, with my video. Like when the videos are delayed, it's like, okay, I have to cancel the stream now because I got to get this done. And when the video goes out, I'm like, let's stream every day. It's the best thing ever. Yeah, so it's very
funny
much a
too.
roller coaster. Yeah.
I think the viewers a lot of times I'll be like, sorry, I can't stream today. I need to finish my video. And they're just like, just stream finishing your video. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. I need to focus, you know?
Yeah. I've actually thought about doing a stream of, this is going to sound crazy because it'd be like, no, that'd be the worst stream ever. But part of me is like, maybe it would be the worst one, but maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it'd be kind of cool. I've thought about streaming me editing a video and going through my thought process on why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Like the other day, so my wife asked me, could you ever have somebody else, you know, edit your videos? And I said, no. Nope. And she said, is it because you think they can't do a better job than you? I said, yeah. And she goes, I'd love to hear you say that. I said, no, it's not all things. I said, there's a lot of editors, their strengths are something that I can't hold a candle to. But when I'm even the limited life series, right? When we're filming, there's times something happens. I'm like, and during it, I'm like, I know how I'm going to edit this. Yeah. So now I'm going to create this scene or whatever. So only I know those things. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing. So I thought maybe if there was a stream of me editing in a backstory as to why this is happening this way, and so they could see, like,
it's behind the curtain.
Like, oh my gosh, he is so deliberate about where he cuts this. Like that, like it being a half a second is not good enough. It has to be 0.4 seconds because 0.3 is too quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain things like that. So I don't know. I've thought about it maybe one day.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fun. I have a question for you.
Okay.
I was watching you on your stream yesterday. This is why I reached out to you privately on Discord, because I was like, are you going to be good to stream? Because I didn't want you to feel like you had to stream with me. You know what I mean? I was like,
I knew.
Yeah, you're already streaming. You got to be already tired or whatever. And by the way, you were great as you're going to be. You were making Decked Out. Okay. And anybody doesn't know, this is another Minecraft thing. This is a really complicated, crazy thought out game that you make in Minecraft. And you're doing it right there on stream. Dude, this is one of the when I'm playing Minecraft, and I obviously not with Naked and Scared or Limited Life, because that's just us, you know, being ourselves. If I try to create anything that is even in the realm of complex while streaming, it's the worst. It's like you talk about it like you don't like to do redstone on stream.
Well, either does he usually, but I think he's grown a little more comfortable with it.
Well, I'm slowly, even in the last month or two, I've slowly started to adapt to it. But it's all relative, you know, because we brought up the streamer brain thing, and I wanted to touch back on this. I mean, it's real. Yeah. It's so real, and then people say it like streamer brain, but if I could stream me working on Decked Out and I didn't think I was streaming, first of all, it'd be the most boring stream ever. But like, you know, it's a complicated game, and that's when I'm really focused. That's where I can do cool stuff. Yeah. And then during the stream, it you know, and I get all these comments like, "This is the guy that made Decked Out. You can't even insert thing here that you're failing at." You know, and it's tough. Yeah. I don't like doing redstone on camera if I know I don't know how it's going to be done. But if it's something I've done in the past and I'm comfortable doing, I'll do it. Or if it's just like, oh, more of that, I'll happy to do it. But no, I mean, every time before my stream, I'll make some bullet points. What are the big tasks I want to do here? And I think about them, and I have two lists. I have my streamer to do and my video to do, and what column A or column B is very specific. You know, if this is going to be difficult, or it's going to take a lot of time, or have a lot of boringness, that goes in the video thing, because I have to actually think. If this is something that I can just make up on the fly, or if it's something I think that the viewers will help me with and the outcome will be better because they're there, I throw in the streamer thing. I mean, I can't tell you how much better the things I put on the stream are better because the viewers make it better. Yeah. Because I can't be as smart as 3,000 people.
It's nice having that much of a brain trust, isn't it?
It's nice. I mean, you gotta, you know, let's face it, there's a lot of cruft there you gotta filter through, but you get some gems if you're paying attention. Yeah. And and now they just changed a huge piece of your game with this great idea. And that's the most satisfying thing is that collaboration of streaming. You know, video it's all me. You know, and I like being the mastermind of the thing I'm doing, but the streaming is where I get to cheat. Yeah. Like I get 3,000 brains helping me, and someone's got a good idea there.
And then you put that in video, and Tango's a genius.
Yeah.
No, I got to say though, like watching your streams, I think out of the three of us, I think you do the best job like talking to your chat, paying attention.
Yeah.
to
Right. It's priority number one.
Yeah.
Priority number one.
Yeah.
to
Out of
me,
the three of us, I think I've watched and I was like, wow, he's really engaged. Yeah. You're not going to catch everything.
Yeah.
Nobody can. Like the second we start to play the game, you're missing chat. But like you do a really good job of making them priority one versus what you're trying to accomplish in game. And I've always admired that with you. I know early on when we started doing like our derp streams, our Friday night streams way back in the day, we spent a long time during the day on Fridays just talking about how the stream was going to be formatted, what we were going to do, how to make sure it was going to be the most entertaining thing. You know, to the point that it got a little stressful at a point we had to kind of like dial it back. But that's when I learned that you were in this to make the most entertaining content, whether it was streaming or videos. You were never going to sell anything short. You were going to make sure the viewers had the best experience ever. And even if that meant spending all day planning a stream, you know,
and it's in the end, it's not worth it because you're right. You know, I could pour 10 hours into something for a video where hundreds of thousands of people see it, or 10 hours into something where a few thousand people see it. But in the end, some of the best memories you and I have are not in video. It's those streams.
And the viewers too.
Totally worth it.
The viewers too. They bring it up all the time. Like, you guys need to get back to doing the derp string. And I'm like, I don't know if derp's gonna come back, but that vibe is what they're itching 100%. For. You know what I mean? So.
You know, the streamer brain obviously is real, and also this recording brain. It's sometimes I do the goofiest stuff because I'm in character or whatever. I guess I'll just tell you both this right now. You're both going to learn this on the spot.
Oh, here we go.
Sweet.
So
I'm good. I'm sitting forward in my chair.
Let me sit up. I'm ready.
I had two amazing moments in our limited life recording that were total recording brain. One is towards the end, I grabbed 24 smooth stone to put in the chest so that when you seal up the secret area, and I go in there and I grab 2 of them because I need to put 2 on my way out. I grab 2 and I put the 2 in a different slot in the chest. I grab the other 22 and I put them in my pocket and I leave. Like it was like I thought I was a chest. That's a recording brain, right? Well, here's the best one. We all went to the Nether to get soul sand. That was the reason. Before you guys ever went over the cliff in the boat, I had soul sand. I had it.
What?
It was the first trade. I forgot they trade soul sand.
Bartering.
So I did it. I was literally trading, looking for that yellow because I wanted the arrows. I was just trading for you. So later
on when you're like, hey guys, by the way.
Yep.
You didn't go get soul sand.
No. You'll see it in my video.
Now is the time I will tell them I have had soul sand.
I didn't because I didn't know it until I got all the way back home. I got soul sand. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went back at my video. I'm like, oh my God, I had thought you guys never had to go over the edge.
Did you? So you watched Tango's point of view. You saw what we got up to after we left you.
Yeah.
We were bummed
and the whole time I'm like, what is Skizz doing? He should be here with us. And then we see like a thing come up. You got him sitting. I'm like, he's still bartering. What is he doing?
Yeah, that's right. You're right. He's still trading. Well, here's the thing. The reason I didn't go over because I had a boat on me. The reason I didn't go over Tango, you've got to watch my POV because what happens to you when you jump off. I was watching with my wife who doesn't play Minecraft.
Fireballs.
She was just like, no way. And when you see it from my POV, you're like a superhero, dude. Like when they jump out of an exploding car. Dude, you come down and the fireball's coming after you. You jump out of the boat and it hits
I could tell by his reaction. I didn't realize it when we were recording, but in editing, you were like, I could tell. And I was like, what? And then the second I got on the boat, boom, massive explosion next to me.
There was fire all around the boat, which was now in item form, which means it actually got hit by a fireball.
Yep, that's right.
The fact that you escaped unscathed.
The second that right where you landed. Now I have my boat, but I'm like, the whole place is on fire. I'm
not going down there.
I was like, I can't just go over the edge. And here's the best part is that I actually clicked on your boat as you were leaving to try to jump in with you. But it just didn't take, you know?
He has a hard time.
I don't want to talk about it.
In the boats.
So I didn't bring up my inventory this time. I right clicked and it wouldn't go in. But had it gone in, I don't think I would have.
You would have been dead.
I would have been dead. I don't think I would have gotten out as quick as you did. Yeah, again, absolutely again.
Yeah, that's
and all the while, I had soul sand the whole time.
It was so funny because like we were in the fortress and we were fighting Blaze and look at wither skellies coming at us and stuff like that. And like looting and scooting, and next thing you know, we see in chat, guys, I got the soul sand, by the way. And meanwhile, our pockets are like filled up with soul sand that we've gathered along the way. We're like, yeah, dude, we're good.
We're good.
I even said, I'm like, I imagine you already have soul sand.
Yeah.
So on this topic, right before we got into that madness, which was great, you were talking about enjoying like the process. You were talking about enjoying the stream, and there's a question here I want to go to. This is from Nubsy.
Yeah, you were talking about editors. Nubsy's mine. I actually do use an editor. So before we get into this question, I do want to cycle back to that because I almost wanted to say Nubsy and I have actually found a way to work together on editing. So those moments that you had where you're like, I'm not going to give this to an editor because in my mind, I know what needs to be done. Well, I give it to Nubsy, and if he doesn't do what I had envisioned, I do that. I edit that in myself. And so we've worked back and forth to kind of create like a even better product. And he's done a fantastic job.
That's a
like
great relationship,
if you guys didn't catch my last one, him and I worked together on it. So like it's fully edited.
Okay.
Like it is
now I got two to watch.
The best editing experience we've ever put into a life series video ever.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so he's the man. So what's
no,
his
he's
question?
good. He's good. So his question is to Tango. It says, what was your favorite video to make? And don't take views into account. I like this question a lot. Like quite literally the experience of making that video.
Right. Well, I would definitely need some time to think about this, but
yeah,
if I have to immediately answer, okay, I'll say two. I'll say them so I don't forget them. The Villager What If videos, I really enjoyed making those because it was really fun putting the scenes together and showing what the mod can do and stuff. It was very just a proud kind of like, look at this is cool. No one's ever seen anything like this. And then probably, I don't know if this is the right answer, but it's the one that's popping into my head right now is Hermitcraft Season 8, the tree episode.
Oh my God, that was so good.
When I dressed up as a tree and
that
trolled
was
hermits,
so good.
I laughed so hard, and it was just true me snickering the whole time.
Yeah,
and
was it you?
Yeah, you got me.
We got
Mumbo.
Cub, and there was someone else too. We got Green.
We got Green. Yeah,
like it was.
That was
dressing up as an idiot tree.
You were the first person to realize that
the
potential of having custom items and then wearing them.
Yeah.
And then making it like change your look.
Yeah.
And then, after that, Scar did the creeper thing based off of the same concept, but you pioneered that,
It was pretty awesome. It was so much fun.
So nobody expected it. Nobody expected to see a person be a tree.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
That was tons of fun.
so good.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, I could probably rattle off.
There's a ton of
so
I got one
Go ahead.
that's super old. Do you remember when we did the Moonlight intro?
Oh my gosh.
Like this is super old.
It's a little cringe now.
It's pretty cringe to watch now, but
was
like
fun at the time.
Yeah, we had so much fun making that one.
Yeah.
Moonlight. I mean, gosh, having these discussions makes me realize how far back we go. Like you and I went to Orlando, Florida in 2013 for a Minecon before we were anyone really.
Was that 2013?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
We were
the first one,
we were really small still on YouTube, I mean, and we didn't. I don't even did we bother bringing Sharpies to thinking we were going to sign autographs?
We did, but we did not.
We didn't expect to use them.
Yeah, no.
We had them just in case. Always thinking ahead, but to go to something like that, and then I remember I was just a fanboy the entire weekend because we saw B-Dubs and Doc and all these people.
It is really. I mean, now it's kind of settled in, so not anymore, but it's pretty surreal. Like, I mean, in 2011, I was just some dude learning how to play Minecraft, watching Etho, going, this is the coolest guy ever, know, and watching what he does. And I remember his Chocolate Island series when he was just, and he's doing he's sorting mobs through this complex maze of glass. And I am just, how is anyone this smart? How does anyone do this? And, here I am,
now we hang out
making fun of them.
Yeah. Now we hang out with them all the time.
It's super cool. It's super surreal.
I remember too. Yeah. Before I started on YouTube, I was watching like Doc M and his World Tour series and his dog Arnold, and because he had the accent and stuff. And I remember watching the B Team. Jenny B and B-Dubs were just such a dynamic duo. It was so fun to watch.
I was a big Vintage Beef fan back in the day. I even in my single player series, I had a little stupid vintage beef joke I remember from like 2014 or 2013. I'm like, yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy how like times have changed, and not changed, but just the fact that we got to a place to where now we just hang out with these people all the time.
Lucky,
it's incredible. It's incredible. It's just so, like you said, surreal. That's the perfect word.
Yeah, that's cool to hear. It's cool. It's cool to listen to that, dude. Like you guys like being fanboys.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. I don't think it's something like I'm numb to it, I guess, but I still have those moments where I'll just be hanging out with Etho or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm hanging out with Etho. What in the world?
Well, he's the grandfather of it all.
Yeah.
Kind of, in my opinion,
Yeah.
Such a cool guy.
But to your question,
it's hard.
If I had time, I could sit here and reminisce, and there's probably a good 10 videos I'd love to talk about. And it's like, why was that one great? Because the editing was so much fun, or just because of what happened.
Aerial sheep service.
Aerial sheep service with Zed.
Dude.
That's definitely on the list, right? Like I forget about these things, all the tongue and
cheek.
Yeah, those all the little jokes we made and everything, and that was so good.
Those moments. I remember we used to edit our Naked and Scared series, right? Now Pooks does it, but we used to edit them. We'd like swap back and forth. And I remember messing with Replay Mod, and I like creating moments that I believe it's called dramatic irony, but it's essentially when the audience knows something that the characters do not, right? Those are good moments. Well, him and I were down, like this Naked and Scared, it's ultra hardcore. We're down to like half a heart each or whatever it was. This is before we were sharing hearts. And we're in the caves, and we come in, we find a chest, and we were hoping there's going to be a golden apple in it. And as we get closer, I'm in Replay Mod, and I pull the camera back to expose a spider right above our heads. And if it had just stung one of us, that person's dead.
Been dead, yeah.
We were that low. Yeah. And so we're sitting there rummaging through this, and there's a spider, and neither one of us, I didn't
knew it was there. Yeah.
I didn't know it until the Replay Mod, until I was editing. I'm like, no. And so that I was decided to play with that.
That's like the footage where you see the ghost in the footage.
Yeah.
And you're just like, when you see it.
Yeah. That was a good moment, but I like those moments. I like making the art. I like having that canvas, and I even tried to find a way. You'll see in this last episode, I was like, I'm gonna do a montage of me collecting, materials for Tango, and I'm gonna find a way to make it entertaining. So it's good with the music and the editing, the cuts, and all that. And when I find some diamonds, what I do there or whatever. But this is a great question that Nubsy posed here, because they're all sort of our babies. And I remember this is how Seinfeld, he did a show, and then he came on for, Encore or whatever it is. And he said, go, ask me questions. And somebody asked him, what's your favorite Seinfeld episode? And he said, that's very hard to answer, because each one's like a breath of air. Your favorite one is whatever's going to get you to the next breath. And I'm like, whoa. And so you end up like every single one of them is just sort of your baby, but I'll tell you this, like when I'm done with an episode, I'm done. And what I mean by that is when I've rendered it and I've uploaded it, I like purge everything, just wipe it out. You see my cuts. There's like over 200 cuts in there. Right. And it's like this perfectly crafted thing with all the music, the cues, the sound effects, all this, and I'm done. Delete, on to the next one. And I almost like
memory dump.
It's it should be like this painful thing, and it's like I love it. Yeah. Like I love throwing things away. I like starting new, getting a fresh start. It's crazy.
Very
I like
satisfying. The whole job done satisfaction.
Yes. Yeah. As soon as I push it, moving on. What's next? Don't think about it.
What's next?
Don't celebrate.
Like you're turning around and going, what else you got?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bring it. What else is next? Yeah, that's what it is. That's the process.
On the flip side, I mean, I've created content that I wasn't proud of. And that's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
Is knowing that you didn't give it your all, and then you look back and you're like, why didn't I?
Yeah.
Was I being lazy? Was I putting some sort of time schedule pressure on myself?
Yeah.
And I just got to stay on the content treadmill. Yep. If I don't get a video out, I'm off the treadmill, and my channel's gonna die, And then you poop something out, and you feel poop afterwards. Yeah.
Well, it brings up the age-old debate of quality versus quantity, and everyone on YouTube or on stream or anything is like, oh, it's all about the quality. We're here for the quality. Take your time, and they mean that when they say that.
They do when they say it,
but they're wrong.
Yeah.
And they don't know that they're wrong, even for themselves, because there's this psychological thing where when you don't see content from someone, you forget about them. You start to realize that they're not providing the content that you need at the pace you want it and stuff. And that's a psychological thing. And that's why people unsub eventually, the day you lose the most subs is the day you put out a video.
Yeah.
After a break, usually.
Because people are reminded of you, right? If you don't ever want to lose subs, don't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's just the hard fact of what the job is, right? As you guys know. But the quality versus quantity thing, you know, is no one ever is going to be like, lower your quality, give me more content, because that sounds bad, right?
Yeah.
But in the end, it is a balance, you know? You can't take 2 months to make a beautifully handcrafted video and then disappear for another 3 months to make the next one. You're not even, people can't stay in tune to what you're doing. And stuff.
They're not going to feel like they're in touch with you.
Unless that's your type of channel where you're like, hey, when I drop a video, the internet knows, and it's a buzz, and it's a big production, and it's a movie, right?
Right.
Then that's fine. But for what we do, we can't. You got to find that balance, and it's tricky.
You told me once, like the video that's bad isn't going to reflect that it's bad. It's the one after, right? And so it's kind of like that with Limited Life. You know, my first episode didn't put a lot of time into the editing, just chopped it up and spit it out. And then this last one, or the one before last, by the time this comes out, we put a lot of effort in, but it's still 10 out of 10. Yeah. You know, it's still the worst out of the last 10 videos view wise for me, but it's the best one I've made. Yeah. But that's because the one before that, people realized, oh, it's just, he's, you know, whatever, side character, not really doing much and not even putting a lot into the edit. Probably not interested, right? Yeah. They're not going to know. Nothing's going to say, this is the one you need to watch. I did something, you know? So yeah, that's tough because you're constantly like trying to push yourself to make the next video the best video you've ever made. And it can get exhausting too. Yeah.
It's very hard to gain traction. It's very slow. You can pour quality into something and it takes time. It takes time to keep doing it. And eventually people will start to be like, okay, their videos are good. It's very easy to throw that all away. You know, it's an uphill battle climb and it's a very easy drop off. You know? So you just gotta be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure that builds behind that being a content creator too, which is why you see a lot of content creators burn out, you know, and here we are 10 years. And that's a darn good question. Burnout's you ever feel burnout?
That's a whole other conversation.
That's part 3. We'll keep you here for another hour. No.
I don't see burnout as this binary yes or no thing, but I'm very much on the burnout spectrum, if you will. You know, of course. You know, whether it's on a particular project, or am I burnt out on this video? Am I burnt out on Minecraft? You know, the answer is yes to all of those, and no to all of those at various things. I think, you know, it's not a question of are you burnt out? It's how you deal with burnout. Right. You know, and the people who are dedicated, the real professionals, I think, can power through it and realize, hey, this is my job. Yeah. And, you know, versus the people who are just like, I'm bored. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, no, you don't get to do that. You still have to do your job, you know? Because I always say, a bad day, you know, this is the old fishing joke or whatever, but the bad day of making Minecraft videos is way better than a job in a cubicle. And that's where I was, you know? And there was a moment, you know, I'm not going to say the company, but the last company I was at, you know, it was a big company. I'm doing web development stuff, which is not my strength. And I'm just like, and I just kind of had this moment where I looked around and there's just cubicles. I mean, this is 2016 or whatever, right? Before pandemic and everything. And it's just like this, I feel like it doesn't matter what I do here. You know, I'm working for the man, you know? Yeah. And it's and you guys, I'm sure, go through this, you know, and it's just, yeah. I forgot my train of thought.
No, I hear you. It's the burn. It's what you're basically saying is that the burnout is real. It's not a yes or no. It's how do you manage the burnout in order to maintain longevity? Yes. And I 100% understand that. And at the same time, you're saying all of this while in parallel expressing, but I mean, look how lucky we are. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's weird to feel burnt out on something that's awesome.
It's great. It's great that you've kept that in your mind though, because after 10 years of doing this, it's easy to forget how lucky we are, right?
No, we are so lucky. You know, yes, you have to have a certain amount of skill and quality and everything, but in the end, there's a lot of luck in being where we are. There's a lot of people out there that could do our jobs, but for whatever reason, light has shone down on us, and we've gotten the opportunity. You know.
Yeah, I keep a fortune cookie note on my my microphone in the other room that says luck is when hard work meets opportunity.
Yep.
And that's what it was. Like you and I both, and Skizz too, very, very hard workers.
Yeah.
Right. And we also were in the right place at the right time. There was opportunities for us, and we struck, like we saw it and we're like, yeah, that's it. Let's make friends with the Zip Crowd guys. And we just kind of like us even becoming friends was huge for both of us, we've helped each other out through the years. So we don't miss opportunities, which is part of it.
You can't miss them. I was telling him the story about the first recording of Limited Life. That recording, I had to change my flight to make the recording. That cost that recording, making that recording session, and it cost me $700 because I had to change my flight. But it was one of those things where it's like, I don't kind of want to do this. This is what I'm doing. And and one of two things, right? One of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to make it or I'm going to die. That's what's going to happen. As in, I'm not quitting until I make it. And if I never do, then I kept going until I was dead.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those things where I'm like, this is just, I just love it too much. Too much. It's the fact, and let me be very clear, is that I'm not in the same boat as you guys are, but I kind of am. And what I mean by that is I'm also very lucky. I have a job that pays me very, very well, and the amount of freedom I have is ridiculous. I work with them. I work with amazing people. I'm given incredible freedom, so I make my own schedule. Like I'll work through the weekends. I worked through the last weekend because I had to get caught up so that I could make the recording session and all that stuff, but the fact that I'm given that makes me feel unbelievably fortunate. I'm not making widgets. I don't have to be there from this hour to that hour and clock in. I used to work at Costco. If you were there 4 minutes after you were supposed to be there, you were fine. If it was 4 minutes and 1 second, you were late and you were written up.
Yeah.
That's awful. I don't like that. I don't
That's
like
one
it.
traffic light.
I don't know. You just got to keep going. Like you said, it's all about the consistency.
Burnout is very real though. Anyone who says they don't get burnt out is a liar.
Yeah.
Every single person gets burnt out in what we do or in life. But
right. It doesn't matter that you enjoy it.
It's not a this job thing. Everyone wakes up on an average Tuesday and goes, I'm sick of this. This is garbage.
Yeah.
Right? But it's how you power through, and it's how you find the best and your work ethic. I
think there's some tools I learned along the way, like just to shake things up, I juggle multiple things. And so I'm able to jump back and forth, whether it's stuff on projects on Hermitcraft. I have big ones that I jump between. When I get bored of one, I go to the other, or like if I'm not really feeling into video making, I dive into streaming more, and vice versa, that kind of thing. So
diversifying helps.
And then of course, since we play a video game that has so many different aspects to it, there's always something unique that we can do to kind of get us jazzed again, a Redstone project, or go join Minecraft championships or whatever. Like there's all sorts of different things we can do to kind of stay motivated. But you're right, there is no escaping the days where it's just like, I don't really feel like working today. And then we make the choice as our own bosses. Is that okay? Yeah. Is it okay if I just spend the day with my family instead, or just sitting on the couch and thinking, of the next thing I want to do?
Being self-employed, and again, not even saying specific to what we do, just being self-employed, it takes a tremendous amount of discipline because it is so easy to just
not work.
There's this thing I want to do. I found a new game I want to go play, I'm gonna go chill today, and it's so easy to do that, but you got to have the discipline and you got to keep going.
Yeah. In the back of your mind, you're always like, oh, if I don't stream today, how much money did I lose? By not streaming or whatever. Like you got that. Like, oh, if I don't make a video today, how much money would that video have made? Is that is that going to break the bank? Is that going to be the difference of me having to go back to a cube?
That's that's good way to think about it and a bad way to think about it, because you need to. There's been times like over the summer, my wife is always in the pool. She loves swimming. I like swimming with her. I like hanging out with her. And then, but I'm like maybe I'll stream on the weekend or whatever, and I have to choose: am I going to stream, or am I going to go ahead and let's enjoy the weekend?
Yeah.
You should enjoy the weekend. I also work full time at this other job. You should enjoy the weekend. But my brain's like, what is it going to cost you to go swimming? That's what my brain does. And it does. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go stream. You know, it's not because, and it's weird because it's not because it's not like a greed thing. I want all the money.
No,
it's because
it's a self-employment thing.
It's a self-employment thing. It's also the fact that my daughter goes to school in New York and I've any extra money I can get, I've got to make it happen. That's a very expensive journey. So there's like a lot of reason that gives, that grants merit to the pause. You know what I mean? But there's been other times where I want, you know, my brain does it. Well, how much is that going to cost you? And I'm like, you can shut up now. I'm going to go relax.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, if you don't listen to that voice, then you're gonna burn out and it's gonna be over.
That's where depression
right?
sets in. Yeah.
Yes. No, I think you're right. And I don't know if you guys do this. I found between, so what I'll do is I do a lot of back and forth between both jobs, right? Because I work from home as it is. And I have that button that it switches all my gear to like either this PC or that PC, you know, and I switch and now I'm back in this and it's every time I go from the world I want to be in, which is the content creating world, back into the tech world that I live in. Every time I make that switch, every time I do it, it's a little tear. It's not healthy. I feel it in my chest. Yep. Wow. Every time I do it, I feel it in my chest because
that's a psychological thing. Yeah,
yes. And I think everybody's aware of this. We actually did a podcast on time and I think I've just been really, I don't know, tied into the clock's ticking like since I was pretty young. Right. So every time I switch back, I feel this pit in my chest and it's not healthy. This is not the way to be, but I tell myself it's okay. Just get back in the zone. And I start doing this and I'm like, it's not that I'm trying to conjure up the work I'm doing. Boy, I'm trying to conjure up some sort of care because I don't give a crap. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, and I do a good job. I really do. I know what it is to have clarity and to drive programs. I can do that very, very well. And I do a good job and they're grateful for it. Right. But I feel like I'm doing poorly. I don't feel like I belong here. And I'm just done. It's like I'm at home, but I'm still in that cube.
You're being pulled out. Your heart's being pulled away.
Yes. And it's crazy because when I switch back to the content world, I actually say out loud, okay, back to the real stuff. The content world is the real stuff to me. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is how wacky my brain is, dude. This is how much
wacky.
I love.
It's your brain telling you where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
in high school,
is the life you're supposed to have.
When I was a freshman in high school, and that drum line was everything to me. Was being on that drum line to the point to where my studies that was in the way. I mean, how stupid is that? I was like, my classes. I don't want to go to school to go to class. I want to go to school to drum. You know what I mean? And I got good grades because I had to, but I was like, this is a waste of my time. Like I want to just focus on drumming. I don't have time for this.
Which period is snare rudiments?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Like it was such a weird way to think. But once I find something to sink my teeth into, they're stuck there. You know what I mean?
You guys could do a whole podcast on passion. And managing responsibility and passion and trying to find that life balance, right? You know, I'm all for. You gotta, as long as you can get by, do as much of your passion as you can and find a way to make your passion your work or just because that's where your happiness comes from. Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta do what makes your heart happy.
Yeah.
You know? And right now your heart is happier when you switch over, you switch your Windows, you know, virtual desktop over to content mode, you know?
Yeah. And it's crazy because when I switch, it's never like, let's switch. Okay. What was I doing? It's always this, it's a button and I go, okay. You know, now like this is where I want to be.
Right, like you just got in your car. You're like, let's roll.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And then, and the problem is because of all that, there will be times where I'm like, I haven't gotten out of my chair in 5 hours. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I get up and my legs are sore. I'm like, oh, it's so unhealthy. Yeah. I've got to make time to exercise.
He will forget to eat for like an entire day.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah. I do that less now, much less now.
You forget to stand though.
I do gotta say, I think I've talked to other people in the creator space who know you, Skizz, and they all have said when the conversation came up that you are one of the hardest working content creators they know. And
wow.
And they do know that you have a job, but unless you've done it, unless you've worked a job and tried to create a channel and stream and all that stuff at the same time, like I don't think a lot of people understand how much work that actually is.
Because you do that so well.
And it's almost like, you know, we talk about it, but it's almost seamless. You know what I mean? Like you could have the roughest day at work, and then when you flip that switch, like you're happy-go-lucky on stream.
Yeah.
Because you're happy. Obviously, that's where you're happy, right? And so you just exude that the second you hit start streaming.
Yeah.
You are never in a bad mood. I don't know how you do it.
Oh,
he's a faker. He's a big old faker.
Yeah.
No, I am I can be in a bad mood. It's happened. It's not like it doesn't happen. I get in a bad mood sometimes. I will say this though. I will say that it takes, I think, and I could be wrong here, maybe my wife would disagree. I think it takes a lot to upset me, like a lot, because for a long time there, it didn't take much to upset me. You know what I mean? And not that I was a violent person by any stretch of the imagination, but I got to a point. So for example, you ready? I've never actually been in a fist fight. I've never been in one. Not a lot of people can say that, but here's why I've never, see, that makes me feel better. But here's why I've never been in a fist fight. Because if it ever happens, either I'm going to die or they're going to die.
Right.
And what I mean by that is I'm never going to fight somebody over something stupid. No. It's going to be because my life is at risk or somebody I love. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's going to take. That. That's me too. I've had people try with me, you know what I mean? And they want me to throw the first punch. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And I've had a guy who was just whacked out on drugs and we were actually friends, but something happened with him and he was all up in my face, and I said to him, "Are you enjoying this?" And it shut him down real quick. So I'm like, "You're not going to get to me. Yeah. I'm not going to do that." That carries over into a lot of stuff, and I think that's why I was upset the other day when we were streaming and my tech was going bad, because look at all these people I'm letting down. You know what I mean? Like that really made me sink. I'm like, this is now I'm where I'm supposed to be, and my computer doesn't want to play. Like I was very upset, but I was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep trying to fix it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm just going to keep trying to fix. Just keep trying. And if I can't, well, that's okay. That'll be okay. And with Twitch Rivals, that hurt when Twitch Rivals, you know what I mean? That hurt when it was going bad. And my brain's like, well, how about this? And this is, as soon as complaining fixes the problem, I'll start complaining.
Let me know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that's when it's like, that's when complaining's worth it. Is if complaining fixes the problem, let's complain. But it's not going to.
When has it ever?
Yeah, exactly. Never. And why is it our go-to? Yeah. You ready for this? You ready for this? I had this talk with my wife. Like, you're gonna like this. Both of you.
Okay.
So there's this fun dynamic that I've always talked about. I have really bad luck and he has really good luck, right? I like to do this. And for the record,
I've known you enough to, yes.
Wait. Does Tango agree with you?
I do.
Do you? Yeah.
Man.
So it's been a fun dynamic. And at my very core, I'm just not that stupid. I don't actually think that this is a thing. Now, is luck a thing? Well, of course it is. If you want to pull out the ace of spades and you pull it out, well, you had a 1 in 52 chance. If you got it, you know what you just got? Lucky. You got lucky. It happens to everybody, right?
I think luck is a thing. I don't think there's such thing as lucky people.
Okay, very good, very good. You know, because
chance.
Because from a mathematical standpoint, they're just
concept. Of
right. Yeah, I agree with you. See, I agree with you, but we like to. It's
fun. So quite a bit.
He gets it, but I'm completely stopped because you've made it pretty clear it actually bothers you, so I'm done. It's not going to happen anymore. But on top of that, you're talking about like my bad luck or whatever. My wife and we were talking about this with her last night. I said, honestly, I think I do have some bad luck, but I don't. Because all my bad luck, air quotes, is unbelievably trivial stuff. When it comes down to the things I actually care about, which is my family, I'm the luckiest dude in the world. I've got the greatest kids. I've got a great wife. Like I cannot even imagine being with another woman. She is the bee's knees, right? I'm very grateful for this, right? No. She knows.
She watches this podcast. Yeah. Go ahead, lay it on.
I don't think she does anymore. I don't think she does anymore. But honestly, if I knew she was going to watch this, I don't think I would say that. Believe it or not, I'm kind of weird like that. But I'm when it comes to the stuff of what it actually is to be lucky, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I really am. However, all the fun and complaining I was doing about having the bad luck, like when Twitch Rivals, of course it goes down. Of course that is not healthy. And that is something to where we just did a podcast on our flaws. And an idea that he had, which was brilliant, was have our wives write down a flaw and put it in an envelope. We'll open it on stream or on the podcast.
I can tell you what'll be in that envelope before I even open it.
Dude.
You know what your wife would say? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably.
Wow. Okay. We won't put you on spot on that one. We can keep that later.
No. Yes, I'm irresponsible. I forget everything. I cannot remember anything. Like she'll tell me like she schedules everything. you know, and it's, I have to ask her 14 times, like, you know, hey, when's the thing? Oh, you got that thing tomorrow, right? I almost forgot to come here this morning, guys. Like last night, I'm telling my wife, please remind me to wake up and go and do the podcast with those guys. I really don't want to just have them call me and be like, let me know when you're here, and be like in bed. Yeah. I forget everything.
That's amazing.
I don't, you know, I like to say it's because I'm really focused. I get tunnel mind, you know, not tunnel vision. I get tunnel mind. And I focus so much on what is interesting to me and where my passions are that I disregard everything else.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm super bad at that.
I see that. It was funny because it actually happened this morning. So Tango hit us up last night and he's like, yo, hey, I'm gonna bring you guys some Dutch Bros. What do you like? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never been there before, but I like caramel in my coffee. And so I texted him this morning. I was like, you know, hey, let me know when you show up. I'll come out front. You know, and I was thinking help carry the coffee or whatever. I didn't say that, but I'll come out front and get you. So I come out front and Tango immediately starts heading to the backyard through the gates. And I'm looking at it, and I look at him and I look at his car. And I was like, and my brain's like, okay, he forgot to do the coffee.
Looking back on it, it was this awkward moment.
Yeah. I'm like, my brain's like, oh, he just forgot to get the coffee, or maybe he didn't have enough time or whatever. I'm not going to be like, dude,
but you said you're a nice enough person to not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to be like, dude, where's the coffee you promised us? Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, let it go. No big deal. I got a Keurig in here. We can brew up some coffee. And then we're about halfway through the backyard, and Tango's like,
it's like a brick wall.
I forgot to get the coffee.
I hit a brick, boom.
And he runs back out to get the coffee.
I am super flighty. Like, I'm stupid. I look stupid at times because I just.
But you got the coffee. You left it in the car. Yeah. So it was actually.
Yeah, it was in the car.
I just forgot. I got out of the car and it's right there. Right? Yeah. Like I do that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, I do too. Well, my wife's for me was. I tend to think that these bad things only happen to me, and I don't think I genuinely don't think that I think that, but clearly that's her impression. So clearly that's the energy coming. Obviously this is the energy coming off of me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, and I was like, I'm gonna make a change here. I'm not gonna do this anymore, and I'm not gonna sit there and vocalize like how unlucky I am or whatever.
Yeah.
So I stopped. And it actually came out the other day in Phasmo. We did the thing. We all got shoulder to shoulder, see who would pick. You all made noise. I got killed. We did it again. You all made noise. I got killed. And you're like, what are the odds? I'm all, I'm not allowed to talk about this anymore. You know, that's what that was about. However, in not doing this, I'm happier.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Better positive vibe.
It was bringing me down, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, just negative talk can do that.
Your own brain.
Yes.
Yeah. Depression and sadness and all that. It just comes from how you think of yourself and what you do to yourself. And stuff. It's
complaining in general is like
it's horrible.
And I had a really bad habit, and my wife let me know that I focus on negative stuff and vocalize it too often. And what I didn't realize was how much that was impacting her. And so I'm doing my best now to
no one wants to be around someone who
Yeah.
Also, like, come on, like you said, a lot of things are trivial. Look around. We're super blessed to have what we have, you know, and be where we're at. So
100%. Like I'm very grateful for my job. I'm very grateful for the people I work for. The people at work must think I'm upset a lot. I'm actually not upset that much, and I still make people laugh there. I still do that. But they really are there, or I'm there rather, for the leadership aspect. They like the leading of the people, the programs, that whole thing, right?
Love to work for you.
It's, dude, that means the world to me to hear you say that. And I think that they like it too, right? Yeah. Because I told my dad this. I said, this is how I run projects. When I'm running a project and it's a failure, it's me. I'm the one who failed. Yeah. But if it's a success, it's them. Yeah. That's the way it needs to be every time. And they like that. And I want that for them. Well, I get upset a lot, because when I first got hired into this group, they had been established for a while. It was one of those things where I was like, I'm the new guy, and maybe it's because I have a fresh set of optics, but we have a problem here. And so I talked to the people who were like, set up this group. I said, here's the problem. You guys created a house. This is what you did. And you wanted to make it a nice house, but you keep piling the expectations on top, and you're turning it into a skyscraper, but the foundation is built for a house. You are top heavy. We don't have processes. We don't have exit strategies. We don't have all. I just went through this whole thing and I said, and I'm not just saying these problems. Here's how I think we should do it. There's a 3-tier system. I put together this whole plan. It was foolproof. They loved it. Obviously, we didn't do it. You know, it was one of those things where it was like, I also know that, and I told him, I said, I don't want to come up. I'm going to tell you what I think we should do. It doesn't mean I'm right, but I don't want to lead. You didn't hire me to fix this place. This is a good place. Well, the other day, we were taking on more and more work.
Flashing lights.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
It's kind of cool.
I have no idea. Yeah, we have flashing lights now. Sorry, Tango.
Warning.
Tango's light is flashing at him. It's like, hey, did you guys know that you've been recording this podcast for over an hour now?
Like, how is that?
I'm not used to this.
Oh my gosh, we do need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll talk through the flashing lights. So the flashing lights, and I forgot. No, I got it. I got upset the other day, and I'm not yelling or screaming, but I said, this is some stuff had happened, and they all left. And I said to my colleague, we were in the lab, I said, this is why I get upset, because what had happened in the lab was something good, very good.
Yeah.
I said, this is why I get upset and why I get so passionate about this, because I love these people and I love this team and I just want to protect it. And we are at risk. I'm like, we are at risk. We're not running as fluently as we can be. We're at risk. We are going to lose our organization within the next year if we don't figure it out. Yeah. That's why I end up getting upset, because I just love them so much. Yeah. I guess it's a good problem to have, but
see, it's funny. It's funny. I know we're running long, but the whole time you were talking about like your job was sometimes felt like it was almost a bit soul sucking, right? You felt the pit in your stomach and your chest or whatever. But then you go into stories like that, and I feel the passion that you have all of a sudden. So it's still there, obviously, because like you will tell me stories about work all the time, and you have like you care about the success of others, and
I do care about them
and all that stuff.
I care about them very much. I do, so whenever they picked up on it, and they hate it too. When I give recognitions, they people I'm recognizing like publicly are always like, you were a part of this. I'm like, no. Yeah. Because I don't want my name. I actually don't want any attention. So I'm like, no. And let's be clear. Trust me, the brilliance is with you. Trust me, it is. I'm not making that part up. So I do, however, where the passion's missing and is the fact that plan I came up with, I would have seen it through. I would have driven it, and it would have happened. All those things would have happened. That was the old me. That was the pre-Minecon me. You know what I mean?
We ruined him.
Yeah.
I'm taking him to Minecon.
Minecon messed me up.
That was worth it.
Tango, I'll tell you, the fact that we turned this into a 2-parter and it feels like it's still not enough, it's unreal. So there might be a day in the future he asks you to come. This has been great.
You just dial me up. I'll be here, guys.
There's so many. Yeah, I had so many other questions like in the back of my mind that I wanted to ask you. So maybe we'll need to make that a thing.
Maybe I'll be back again. I'll love to. Yeah, it's
cool.
Well, let's leave you with one last question.
Okay.
Oh. This is from Sammy Stuffies. Well, let's do an easy one first. Ron Thompson asks, "Are you taller than B-dubs or not?"
Yeah, I'll be straight up honest. It's an ongoing joke, right? We're both short in the 5'8" range, I think. I don't know who's taller. I honestly don't know. I would have, because I haven't stood next to him for.
Yeah, since Minecon 2013, probably.
And not that we've grown, I just don't remember. I don't know. If I had to guess, you might be like, but we're within a half an inch.
Did he say something?
According to B-dubs is taller. We'll just say that.
But he's just gonna say that.
You're gonna say that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's a chance that B-dubs is taller than both of us.
We gotta meet in person again and solve this.
Exactly. Yeah, people won't be happy.
Yeah,
until I'm calling you out. Hide off.
Yeah, PB,
hide off.
All right, here's the question. Sammy Stuffies asks, "What is one creator you'd like to collaborate with or collaborate with again?" Ooh. That's got to be a tough one.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean, I'd love to go outside the Minecraft space, of course.
Yeah,
but then I don't feel like I'm in my element, so I'm just a fanboy at that point, right? Like, if it's going to be a collab, it's got to be someone I want to help contribute with, But yeah, outside this space, I gotta throw out like Matt Mercer would be cool. The guy that does Critical Role, the DM for Critical Role. It'd be fun to do something with him. Ton of respect for him. Who else? Who other YouTubers? Hank Green would be up there. The Vlog Brothers. They do so much stuff, and I'm just so just in respect for what they do, how many companies they run, and it's all for good. You know, they sell socks for charity, and it's crazy. And they're brilliant minds. So I'd love to do something like that.
That's great.
But it would be totally just
Yeah.
you know, like, do you need any redstone?
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be a collab. It would just be me.
That's it, dude. We're gonna teach Mark Rober redstone.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That dude, you know,
Yeah.
Mark Rober, he's a NASA dude, genius guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
dude,
teach
it's
him how to do
amazing.
redstone, and he'll
Yeah.
be way better than us in about 5 seconds.
Yeah. That dude is brilliant,
Yeah,
dude.
I hate people who are just like so stupid smart that they can learn something so fast. There's nothing more frustrating than like, hey, I've been trying to do this for 3 years and I've plateaued and you just learned this and you're better than me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a humbling
People
moment.
are naturals, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Is Mark? He's one of those rare people that is as smart as he is, and he's also like super personable and really witty and just like entertaining.
It's that combination.
He's
Perfect.
like it's like he has it all. He has it all of it. You know what I mean? It's
He's
crazy.
hogging all the cool.
It gets back to what I was talking about before. There's many ways to succeed on YouTube, and he's done the thing where he's informative, but he's layered entertainment
go.
on top of it, and that's why he's got that.
Yeah.
that
And he's
perfection,
good enough
you
to
know?
not have to be on the content treadmill.
Yeah.
Whenever he releases a video,
Because
it could be
he's, like I
months.
said before too, when he releases a video, it's an event.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
good.
It's not, hey, where's your, I'm tapping my watch.
Where you
now.
at,
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything
Yeah.
from your channel in a while. I'm
It's
gonna
an event.
unsub.
It's an event, you know.
It's an event. That's a good way to look at it. When he releases a video, Mr. Beast is he would do those huge pranks and like I think he spent like $1 million on one video
That's
one
everything
time.
for him
Yeah.
now, yeah.
But it was a huge huge ordeal and it was really impressive. And he's done stuff where I mean it had to have been 300-400 hours worth of footage that was cut down to like a 40-minute video. I can't even imagine going through that much.
He has an
Well, of course,
army of people
100%.
at this point. Yeah.
Fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
He has that. But yeah, I think, let's see. I'm going to answer this question.
Yeah, please do.
Believe it or not, oh boy, there's a lot of Mark's 100% one of them because I just feel like we'd be able to riff off each other pretty good. I do. You know, but believe it or not, B-Dubs is one of them. I mean, we've done collabs, but I mean, just like a me and B, because I'm seeing a lot of comments of people like, I would kill for a Skizz B-Dubs collab because we have a similar energy, but you're not even going to know who I'm talking about. I've sent them to you and it's nowhere in this genre, but Tim and Wit. And it's a married couple that do a reaction video to like old reality shows or whatever. And they're super funny, man. They just are. But the husband, Tim, I'm like, I just love this guy.
You're like, I want to hug him.
I do.
Yeah.
He's so funny and he's so quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, and they just have such a great dynamic that in a way I don't want to collab because I don't want to mess up that perfect dynamic they have.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's like,
It's that respect.
Yeah. I want to get in there.
Social relationship there that you've developed with this guy.
A little bit. Yeah.
I feel a little jealous.
Let me tell you how bad it is. So they watch a show called Siesta Key and then they react to it. But typically the show's going right now. And so these shows are terrible, as you can imagine, but the reactions are great. But my wife and I have been watching the reactions for so long that we actually got semi-invested in the show they're watching. So we watched ahead. Okay. So we watched.
You watch the bad show just so you can understand the commentary better.
Well, yes, but it got to a point to where we'll be watching and I'm all, oh, I bet you I know what Tim's going to say about this part. And I will film myself on that part. My prediction is Tim is going to make this joke about this part. You know what I mean? And then we watch it. And when he does it, I'm like, I nailed it. You know what I mean? And then just last night I was like, oh, this is the scene. I've been waiting weeks for this. And then he didn't do it. I'm all, Tim. Like he let me down.
Just that man crush.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Who are those guys
Animals.
that? Who are those? Because I wouldn't have a lot to offer to anybody. But who are the guys that threw stuff off the tower?
Oh, how
the dudes,
ridiculous!
the dudes.
How ridiculous!
Something dudes.
How
like-
No, well, there's
ridiculous.
dude. I think you're thinking of Dude Perfect.
You're thinking of
They
Dude-
do, like,
you're thinking of Dude Perfect.
The trick shots that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
I would love to like do like basketball crazy shots.
Yeah.
and
How
dart
ridiculous.
throwing stuff.
I'm with you.
But how ridiculous! These guys just climb a tall tower and just drop stuff off of it.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like bowling balls into
Well, it's like
trampolines.
the Will It Blend. You guys see the old Will It Blends?
No.
It's like I don't even. I never watched that many, but I know it exists. The whole video series was based on blenders, and what you could put into the blender
There you go.
and what
Perfect.
happens when you do it.
Perfect.
And it's not food.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, like, if I want to collab with somebody, I obviously want to be able to offer a skill set that I have.
Yeah.
And I think throwing things off a tower,
I could do that.
I can
That's a skill
probably
you
nail
possess.
that.
That's
Yeah.
good. Dropping, releasing an object.
Yeah.
This is your specialty.
I'm good
I
at
like that.
releasing objects.
They're really funny. They do well, but so they own that tower, I believe. They bought
Yeah,
the
I think
tower.
so.
But they also had an axe made, okay? An axe where it wasn't the handle, it was just the blade, and the blade was about the size of this room. Okay. It was a giant, super sharp axe, and they dropped a rubber band ball on it, but the rubber band ball was about the size of this
Can you say
couch.
that again 3 times?
Rubber band ball. So they dropped a rubber band ball on it, and dude, they hit it square. I mean, it was an amazing shot. And they also, as you can imagine, they have high-speed cameras all over the place.
Feels a little bit like Mythbusters almost. Or
A little bit, yes, dude. And I will, after this, I'm going to bring up that clip of this rubber band ball hitting the blade.
Yeah.
It is remarkable, dude. And they do a lot of stuff like that. And they also drop off dams and stuff like that. But I'm with you. They're called How Ridiculous. They're all, they're part of the 7 people that live in Australia. There's like 7 people.
Yeah. He's convinced there's only 7 people that live in Australia.
There's the 3 of them.
A
There's
little bit more
Pearl.
than that,
There's Richard Thornton.
A few spiders.
There's a big spiders. Ebony is on there. That's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
it.
small
Sorry.
little-
Oh, and Crocodile Dundee. He's
I can't leave him out.
yeah. He died?
Oh, no.
When did he die? Paul Hogan?
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other crocodile.
Oh,
dude.
you're thinking of the
You're
animal
thinking of Steve Irwin.
Steve
crocodile.
Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Yeah,
But
he
what was
got...
it? He had a crocodile nickname, didn't he?
The crocodile guy.
Hunter?
He's the crocodile man.
I don't know. Anyways,
He was great.
Sorry,
and he
got
died
hit
to a
by a
stingray.
Stingray, which
I
I
can't
mean,
believe
it doesn't
that.
surprise me that he got killed by an animal with how crazy he was, but he was amazing.
But a stingray. I
Yeah.
didn't like. I never knew that you needed to worry about them
Yeah.
until he died, and
They
then I
have
was
the
like,
word sting in it.
I know, but like, I've been like snorkeling and stingrays all around, and I never once thought like, oh, they could actually like hit me in the spine with their stinger, and I could die. Like what?
It's a very obviously very tragic story.
Yeah.
I mean, he also is one of those guys. Obviously, I never met him, but he feels like if you met him, he's the same exact person, just like this wonderful dude.
He's
and
like
honestly,
he'd give you the shirt off his back. Yeah.
absolutely. And seeing like his kids and stuff, like they seem
They're
right
following
up
in
that
his
other
footsteps very
wonderful
much,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah. But that stingray, I don't know if it was a fluke or if they have if my understanding is it pierced him right in the heart.
Yeah.
This,
Oh, okay. I thought
yeah.
this fine for
I
some
can't
reason.
even imagine.
But That's
Yeah.
crazy town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there was.
So
a
not him.
Crocodile Dundee's still alive. I hope.
Paul Hogan,
He
isn't that
is-
his
he is-
name?
yeah, he's-
yeah.
I don't know anybody's names.
When you said that, I was like, dude, I
were
had-
crushed there
I
for a
was.
moment.
I
know,
really
sorry, I
was.
apologize.
Yeah.
call that a knife? Like, what happened?
Do you remember? We got to end this podcast.
There's
Do
so
you
many
re-
things I want to talk about still.
I know. Do you remember when we were playing, or like we were doing Naked and Scared, and I don't remember what it was, but I was like, I could see you've played Knifey Spoony before, you know, and you just started rolling. I was busting out an
I had no
old
idea
line
what
from
it
The
was.
Simpsons where they were mocking
Yeah.
Paul Hogan, the crocodile. Like, it was just like, it just went, the crocodile hunter,
That's what he was
That's
called.
what he was, yeah.
That sounds right, yeah.
Jeez.
right? I don't know.
Can you just want to make it a 3-hour podcast today?
I know, seriously.
I know this is one of those ones like we've had so much fun. It
Yeah.
feels wrong to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
I suppose we should.
I guess.
Man,
know.
Thanks
Well,
again, making
yeah.
the trek.
Yeah, the trek.
The trek out here.
The 10-minute drive. Yeah.
Tango got a chance to see the studio and
I know.
stuff.
It's amazing.
That's always fun.
If only someone would release a tour of it, that'd be nice.
I know. I gotta get. I'm like perfectionist right now. I'm like, not
is
until
super cool.
that wall in front of my desk is done.
I'm already
then
stealing
I'll make
ideas.
a tour video.
The ways he's got this behind me decorated. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
I
do
know.
that.
It's so nice.
Like the coolest part's the part that nobody sees because it's
Yeah.
in front of me,
Yeah.
not behind me.
That's good.
That's amazing. All right. Thank
All
you
right,
again
gents.
so much for coming out.
Yeah,
And
this is great. Like
been-
I said,
it's-
anytime.
I had high expectations and it still exceeded them.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Always fun chatting with you guys. Yeah.
It was a good
Thanks
time.
for
We'll
the
do it again.
coffee. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. See it.
That's fine.
End scene.
Yeah. Wait. Bye.